Here I am, Diane, at 60, with a life that whispers rather than shouts, nestled in the quietude of a suburban home. The walls of this house have seen more than their fair share of secrets, and today they're about to witness another. My husband, George, well, let's just say he's not the man I married. Time has a way of changing people, or perhaps revealing who they truly are beneath the veneer of youth and promises. The morning sun filters through the curtains, casting a gentle glow over the breakfast table where George sits, his eyes distant, lost in thoughts that never include me. There's a tension in the air, a silent storm brewing, one that's been gathering strength for years. I sip my coffee, the warmth doing little to thaw the chill between us. It's not just the silence that speaks volumes. It's the way he avoids my gaze, the way he's always on the phone, whispering in hushed tones, thinking I'm too deaf or too disinterested to notice. But I notice. I notice everything. The late nights, the unexplained absences, the sudden interest in his appearance. And then there's the perfume. Not mine. It clings to his clothes, a scent so foreign, yet so familiar, like a memory I've been trying to forget. It's the scent of betrayal, the scent of a life he's living without me. I've kept my silence, not out of fear, but out of a hope that perhaps, just perhaps, he'd remember the vows we made, the love we shared. But hope, like love, can be a fragile thing, easily shattered by the weight of reality. Today, as the evening progresses, the garage fills with the sounds of George and Mark's camaraderie. I'm in the kitchen, preparing dinner, occasionally glancing out to see them engrossed in their work. The clinking of tools, the laughter, the easy banter, it all feels like a world apart from the silent tension that's been our norm. After dinner, George, looking particularly tired from the day's exertions, decides to call it a night early. "Mark, you're welcome to stay and finish up," George says, his voice heavy with fatigue. "I'm beat." Mark nods, a playful grin on his face. "Sure thing, George. I'll just tidy up here and head out." With George upstairs, the house falls into a quieter rhythm. Mark, having had a couple of beers, decides to linger in the living room, chatting with me about life, his travels, and the latest project he's working on. His youthful energy is infectious, and I find myself enjoying the conversation more than I expected. He talks about the freedom of the open road, the thrill of new places, and the people he's met along the way. As the night deepens, Mark's playful demeanor shifts. His eyes linger a bit too long. His touch on my arm feels a bit too familiar. "You know, Diane," he says, his voice dropping to a whisper, "you're not like the others. There's something about you." His words, meant to be flattering, carry an undercurrent of something more, something unspoken yet palpable. I feel the room grow smaller, the air thicker with an unspoken tension. Mark moves closer, his intentions clear, yet shrouded in the guise of casual conversation. The conversation flows easily, but there's a shift in the air as Mark's eyes linger on me a bit longer than usual. He compliments my cooking, my home, and then, unexpectedly, me. "You know, Diane, you've got this glow about you," he says, his voice lowering, his gaze intense. I laugh it off, but there's a flutter in my stomach, a mix of flattery and unease. Mark moves closer, his hand brushing mine as he reaches for his beer. The touch sends a jolt through me, and before I can process it, he's standing right in front of me. "You're beautiful, Diane," he whispers, his breath warm against my ear as he gently places his hands on my waist. My heart races as he kisses the side of my neck, a tender, unexpected gesture that feels forbidden yet thrilling. I'm caught in this moment of unexpected desire, the warmth of his lips sending shivers down my spine. His touch, so different from George's, stirs something deep within me, a longing for connection, for passion that I've missed for so long. But then, reality snaps back like a rubber band. I step back, my hands gently pushing against his chest, creating space between us. "Mark, this isn't right," I manage to say, my voice a mix of regret and resolve. His eyes search mine, confusion and desire swirling in them. "I'm sorry, Diane. I didn't mean to overstep," he says, his voice now laced with embarrassment. He steps back, giving me room to breathe, to think. "It's okay," I reply, trying to ease the tension. "It's just complicated." My mind races, thinking of George upstairs, oblivious to the storm brewing in his own home. Mark nods, understanding dawning on him. "I should go," he says, his voice now back to the playful tone from earlier, but with a hint of sadness. He gathers his things, and I walk him to the door, the night air cool against my flushed skin. As the door closes behind him, I lean against it, my heart still pounding. The house feels. The kiss on my neck sends waves of confusion and excitement through me. I should pull away. I know I should, but something in me hesitates. Mark's hands are gentle, his touch igniting a part of me that's been dormant for years. "I shouldn't," I murmur, but my voice lacks conviction. Mark, sensing my conflict, doesn't push but doesn't retreat either. He looks into my eyes, searching for permission, for a sign. The room feels charged with electricity, the silence between us heavy with unspoken questions. My mind races with thoughts of George, of our life together, of the sanctity of our marriage. Yet, here I am, on the precipice of something that could change everything. I feel the warmth of Mark's breath, the closeness of his body, and for a moment, I'm lost in the sensation. His lips move from my neck to my cheek, each kiss a whisper of temptation. My heart pounds, not just from the thrill, but from the fear of what this means. "Mark," I whisper, my voice trembling, "we can't." It's a plea, not just to him, but to myself, to the part of me that yearns for something more than the cold distance that's grown between George and me. Mark pulls back slightly, his eyes clouded with desire and understanding. "I know," he says softly, his voice a mix of regret and longing. "But I can't help how I feel about you, Diane." The air around us seems to thicken, every breath a reminder of the line we're teetering on. I think of George, asleep upstairs, unaware of the storm brewing in his own home. The thought of him, of our vows, of the life we've built, it all comes crashing down on me. "I need to think," I say, stepping back, my hands still on Mark's chest, feeling the rapid beat of his heart. This is too much." Mark nods, his expression one of sorrow mixed with acceptance. "I understand," he replies, his voice now steady, the playful tone gone. "I'll leave you to your thoughts." As he gathers his in that moment, overwhelmed by a mix of guilt, desire, and the thrill of the forbidden, I find myself leaning into Mark's embrace. His lips find mine, and the kiss deepens, igniting a fire I hadn't felt in decades. Clothes are shed in a rush of passion, and we end up on the couch, the world outside forgotten. The act is quick, intense, and filled with a raw energy that leaves me breathless. As we lay there, the reality of what just happened begins to seep in. The thrill fades, replaced by a sinking feeling in my stomach. The silence of the house is deafening now. Each tick of the clock a reminder of the time slipping away, of the choices I've made. Mark's breathing slows beside me, his arm draped over my waist, but my mind is racing. I think of George, asleep upstairs, unaware of the storm that's just passed through his own home. I gently move Mark's arm, sitting up, the cool air hitting my skin, making me shiver. I wrap myself in a nearby throw, my thoughts a whirlwind of confusion and regret. Mark stirs, his eyes meeting mine, a question in them, a hope perhaps, that this might not be the end. "We shouldn't have done this," I whisper, my voice barely audible, the weight of my words heavy in the quiet room. Mark sits up, his face a mask of concern and understanding. "I know, Diane. I'm sorry, I got carried away." His voice is sincere, but it does little to ease the turmoil inside me. I stand, pacing the room, my heart pounding not just from the physical exertion, but from the emotional turmoil. This changes everything," I say, more to myself than to him. Mark nods, his eyes following my movements. "I didn't mean for this to happen. I felt something, and I thought you did too." I stop, turning to face him, my expression a mix of sadness and resolve. "I did, Mark. But that doesn't make it right. George, our marriage, our life together. It's all I've known for." The next morning, the house is quiet. George is still asleep, unaware of the storm that passed through his living room. I'm up early, the weight of my actions heavy on my heart. Mark has left, his departure as silent as his arrival. I sit at the kitchen table, coffee in hand, staring out the window. The guilt is overwhelming, mixed with a strange sense of liberation. I've betrayed George, but in doing so, I've also awakened a part of myself I thought was long gone. As I sip my coffee, the warmth does little to soothe the turmoil inside. The night before replays in my mind, each moment vivid and intense. The thrill of Mark's touch, the forbidden rush of our intimacy, it's all there, etched into my memory. But now, in the light of day, it feels like a betrayal not just of George, but of myself. The silence of the house is deafening. Each tick of the clock seems to echo my heartbeat, a reminder of the time slipping away, of the choices I've made. I think of George, still asleep upstairs, oblivious to the storm that's just passed through his own home. The thought of him, of our vows, of the life we've built together, it all comes crashing down on me. I hear footsteps on the stairs, and my heart races. George enters the kitchen, his eyes still heavy with sleep. He gives me a small, tired smile, unaware of the turmoil within me. "Morning," he says, his voice groggy. "Morning," I reply, my voice barely above a whisper, the weight of my secret making each word feel like a lie. He pours himself some coffee, and for a moment we sit in silence. I watch him, this man I've shared my life with, and the guilt gnaws at me. How can I face him, knowing what I've done? Yet, there's also this strange sense of freedom, a part of me that feels alive, awakened by the passion I experienced last night. George looks out the window, his gaze distant. "Did Mark finish up last night?" he asks, his voice casual, unaware of the storm. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoyed this story. This will help us create more engaging stories for you.